am very excited to finally add GRC Max Schnell to my collection. For a while, I was concerned that I wouldn't find this item. As I'm sure many of you remember, Cars diecast distribution to the US was really bad last summer, and we ended up being several months behind, with a lot of cases never really hitting the US, and certain cases being very, very hard to find. And unfortunately, GRC Max Schnell was one of those items that was not very easy to find over here last year. And beyond that, friends that I have in Europe, where his case was released widely, said that he was pretty hard to find on several occasions as well. So I was pretty concerned that I wouldn't end up with a full GRC set. In early 2025, we saw more and more GRC cars get re-released, and luckily it turned out that eventually we would receive all of the GRC cars again in 2025. And while that is annoying from the perspective of all of these cars were just out last year, and we're not getting any new ones this year, like they didn't give us the other GRC racers we were missing, they just re-released all the previous ones. It ended up working in the favor of a lot of collectors like myself that weren't able to get the original GRC releases last year. I'm pretty sure, with the exception of McQueen, Francesco, and maybe the McQueen and Shu 2-pack, every single GRC car I've added to my collection has been from the 2025 re-release. Oh, actually, the Jackson and Miguel 2-pack. That's a 2024 item. But other than that, all of my GRC collection has been thanks to these 2025 re-releases. And now, thanks to Max, I officially have every GRC racer. That's right, Max was the last GRC car I needed, and the second to last one I'll be reviewing. I still have to review Raul, who I have in the 2-pack with Miguel Camino. We'll see if he wins one of my polls soon. If not, might be a little bit until we get around to him. Unfortunately, I'm just now starting to see the GRC Raul single show up frequently, and I wish I had gotten that, but I found the 2-pack first, so I picked it up first. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review, and to another GRC diecast review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Max Schnell, who I'm very excited to open, because like I said just a minute ago, this is the last GRC car I needed, and one of the last ones I need to review here on the channel. When I first saw GRC Max, he was one of my least favorite GRC items. I just thought he was way too similar to his original World Grand Prix counterpart, and the lighter, more grayish color they chose for him, I just thought looked worse and kind of weaker than his original design. But now that I see this in person, I will say I do like it quite a bit more than I thought I would. And honestly, I think that's the case for basically every GRC car. There have been a couple I've been pretty iffy on, but as soon as I got them in hand, I ended up really liking all of them. I think my least favorite now is probably Carlo Veloso. Max is still one that I don't like as much, but I think around the board, the GRC cars have really solid designs. If you've seen any of my reviews of these guys, whether it be the diecasts, the mini racers, or even like the playsets and color changers, I have been nothing but positive about just how great the GRC designs are. So let's take a closer look at Max here. Of course, we have his modified artwork, which I believe does give him a significantly lighter color scheme. It's not like, this... You might look at this and think like, oh, they're just doing a poor job replicating the original Max color scheme. No, they deliberately made him a bit of a different color here, which I do appreciate. I like that they made some bold choices with the coloring of some of the GRC cars. GRC logo there, number 4 there. Moving on to the back, you can see a variety of the GRC items released this year. McQueen, Jackson, Raul, Carla, and Cruz. I've reviewed, once again, all those except for Raul, who, again, should be coming soon. Pop Max Schnell out of the package here. Unfortunately, this was the only new car that I found today. I think my stores are getting in some kind of random waves. I'm really hoping to find Jonathan Gearson and Acer, and I've heard that the Race and Rescue guys are starting to pop up now. Anyway, here is GRC Max out of the package, and yeah, he looks significantly nicer than I thought he did. What's really saving this item for me, that I didn't realize when I saw pictures of him online, even in-hand pictures of him online, is that his paint job is actually not flat gray, it's a silver color. And that honestly makes him look really, really nice. I thought it was just a flat gray, but no, it is metallic. At least partially. Not fully metallic, but it is shiny, which is super, super nice. Of course, you have that carbon fiber detailing molded in to Max. That's all textured as per usual. His WTCL Racing League logo has cleverly been replaced with a GRC one, and he has some slightly different logos when it comes to the German flag stripes honestly, I think I kind of prefer the new stripe logos on the GRC. This kind of curved one and this curved one back here. He is missing the flag on the back, although it looks like they did actually still incorporate that. This is another example of a GRC car that kind of acts as like a modern upgrade for the racer. There are choices here, small design choices on this Max that I think are better than his original counterpart. And that's something I also feel for other items in this line, like Carlo Veloso and somewhat for Miguel Camino, although there were parts of Miguel's design I didn't really like. I love the parts of this that are updates. Speaking of updates, Max's grille is painted, which is not something on his original, which is pretty nice to see. This is my first ever Thailand Max Schnell. You can see they did a pretty good job capturing that expression. Black rearview mirrors, I think I would have preferred if they were the silver color. Moving on to the side, we have, where's his number? Wait, is his number only on the spoiler? Wait, what? Is it on this side? Okay, so Max's number, am I blind? So Max's number is just on the spoiler. That is one of the single strangest racer design choices I've ever seen on a car's character. And honestly, I'm kind of down with it. I kind of like that. That is very strange and very unique, very bold. Kind of like how GRC McQueen only has the number on one side. That is a really, really bold, unique choice. All right. And you know what? The rest of his side has enough detail anyway. Maybe I would prefer the number there, like where it is here, or maybe back here. But that is really strange. I didn't realize that when I reviewed his mini racer. Wow, okay. We have the multicolor wheels in red and sort of the yellowish color there. GRC logo, these secondary sponsors, which are pretty hard to make out because of all the carbon fiber printing, but they're just the same ones. Ravioli and all the other secondary foreign sponsors that are on other items like GRC, Francesco. Honestly, I really can't make them out here. But they are Petrola, Ravioli, and yeah, all the ones that we've seen on the GRC racers other than McQueen, of course. We have, again, these nice kind of curved stripes up on the roof, which have this sort of dotted pattern, maybe representing the carbon fiber. It looks familiar. We've definitely seen that sort of design pattern on other cars' diecasts before, which is pretty nice to see. We also have the hexagon pattern and the fading paint design that most of the GRC, if not all of the GRC racers, incorporate. And the clever thing about Max is that the color his paint fades to is the color that regular Max is, or at the very least, very close to it. So that's why they chose to give Max a lighter color here, I guess, because it fades into his original darker color scheme. Very interesting, very, very unique, and I love how the hexagons turned out. Global Racers Cup logo on the spoiler. There is a look at the back with just a regular GRC logo once again. There's a look at the side, other side, and finally there is a look at the base. I am impressed. I am very pleasantly surprised. I went into this thinking, okay, cool, glad to have the last GRC car, but Max is one I don't really like all that much, and honestly, I ended up really liking this item. There are some nice design changes between the two of these. He has this really cool silver paint, which I didn't realize was silver. Again, I thought it was just flat gray before. And yeah, he turned out pretty good. Lots of interesting, unique decisions and choices with the design, number on the spoiler, and such. I will say, I do think this is still probably going to rank in the back half of GRC cars for me. I'm still not, I don't think this one has become one of my personal favorites. But that's just because the GRC cars are so good that when I say Max is one of the weaker ones, after giving him all this praise, the line is good. It's so good that even one of the ones that I think isn't one of the best ones ends up being really, really great. And yeah, there's just not a bad GRC car. It's as simple as that. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to see you guys next time. Bye now.